Four, three, two, we're live.
Good morning, because Bitcoiners. Welcome to today's episode of Market Check. I am Snorlax, also known as Tommy, here as always with Max, Tucker, and Will. Yeah, we're going to be breaking down equities, altcoins, crypto, and everything in between, things like BlackRock and Coinbase. What's been a pretty wild week already so far. We've had CPI prints, we've had FOMC yesterday, and now we're having the market's reaction in the immediate aftermath of those events. And for one asset class, or for one, broader class of markets, it's been a very good thing, right? Equity markets, SPX touched 4,400 a day. We were talking about had the high probability of that yesterday, which was not a bold take, given that we closed yesterday at like 43.85 or something like that. I think we actually dropped into the end of the day or something like that. We dropped at some point during the day. There was a little bit of volatility intraday, but the end result's always the same, at least over the last 2 quarters, which has been that equities are just going to continue moving higher no matter what. This is the pause rally. I'm sure Tucker will talk about it later today, but something he mentioned before the call started was you needed to see some follow through on the pump. If we're getting good news on something like the pausing of interest rates, at least as hotly anticipated as it has been, you really want to see that market follow through a little bit higher. And so far, we have seen that. Whether or not this is forming some sort of local top before a sharp correction, I think we're all in agreement that it's going to take probably some economic deterioration for this bid on equities to slow down, because right now, there's just very hot and heavy demand for these assets, especially these mega cap stocks that have been particularly outperforming, and as a result, supercharging the index returns as well. But yeah, I was a little surprised yesterday. One, that Bitcoin didn't squeeze at all, but also secondly, that when Bitcoin did drop, altcoins did not drop as hard. And I guess it makes sense when you factor in last Friday, altcoins went down 25, 30, 35%, which, not surprising that Bitcoin kind of caught up to them on this leg. But I think the question still remains on what's going to happen with Bitcoin dominance here, because we've been moving sideways since last Friday, even though we are now trading at lower USD prices. So I'm curious what that means for this market directionally speaking, as we now come into a very big level at, this naked point of control around 24.8K, 24.7. I think if you can see some good demand at this level, you can justify squeezes higher. But price continues to remain heavy, and until we see some material changes with the way that price is behaving and the way that spot buying and selling is behaving, it's very difficult to shift our structure sentimentally. But I would say the other big news of the day that I definitely want to talk to you guys about is everything that's going on with BlackRock and Coinbase, and I guess now Tether as a byproduct. People are trying to FUD the bedrock of crypto perps, which is Tether. I guess if you are America and you are a government that doesn't like crypto or wants to control it, and you certainly don't like the idea of crypto perps, going after Tether would probably be the way to do it. But it's basically a call on Tether's bluff. Do they have the reserves or do they not? Personally, I would probably bet that they do, but you can't really be certain on anything in this space. But you can definitely see, right, that BlackRock, by entering the space, not only is probably likely to use USDC as a proxy for broader control within crypto, but the fact that they're using Coinbase as well, I thought was really interesting, especially after Coinbase got charged by the SEC, specifically because I'm wondering if that's a sign that that BlackRock thinks that the SEC is overreaching and in the wrong here, or it's a sign that Coinbase is not actually that upset about everything going on with the SEC, and they know that they're eventually going to become the Fed exchange, which I do think is the bull case for Coinbase on a higher time frame. It doesn't really make me very happy as a crypto native to say that, but I do think there is pretty good bull case for Coinbase within that capacity. But yeah, no, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Tucker since he's got his camera on. Tucker, what are you seeing in the markets today, specifically, with this equity rip again on the back of FOMC? Any commentary on that, as well as I guess the late day drop we had on Bitcoin in the crypto market yesterday as well?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I was saying before, like you absolutely did need to see follow through today. Like, this has been the most anticipated Goldilocks period rally of my lifetime, at least. So yeah, I definitely needed to see follow through because I mean, if the market can't continue to go up on a pause, which is the best news, or continue to go up on good news, then that is a reversal point, in my opinion. And so we are moving up today. I'm still curious where we're going to close. But we did get somewhat hot economic data today. So we're seeing the continuation of the labor market cooling down, in my opinion, and getting looser. So that is also probably why. Let me pull up this Fed watch. I think it's still about, let me see here. Yeah, it's still about 65% priced in that we hike. I expect that to come down. I'm sorry, my cat is howling in the background. I expect that to come down over the coming weeks. We are seeing the long end catch a bid today, about 2% across the board on the long end. So people are somewhat trying to insulate themselves. I think the bond market is trying to get out in front of this again, which obviously they've been burned every single time for the last like 6 to 9 months when they've tried to front run cuts. But I think now that he said they're gonna pause, and even the fact that he said skip, they're trying to get out in front of it, which is something that I'm also doing, but I don't have any time sensitivity to it. I've just got shares. But regardless, yeah, we got some hot economic data today. This is the issue, like I was saying yesterday, is like this whole skip narrative really, really, throws a wrench in things. But I think equity should continue to rally here, albeit muted. The other thing I was looking at was, we were talking about this on market talk yesterday with Jaguar, and I was going to bring this up to him, but he ended up bringing it up himself, was Queb, right? KWEB, this KWEB, I think it's an index. Yeah, I think it's an index of these Chinese CSI China Internet ETF. Yeah, okay. So this is something I've been looking at. And our premium members know what I'm doing here. But yeah, this is, I mean, so the PBOC, they cut their 7-day reverse repo rate 10 bips the other day, and then I believe, which is a form of stimulus on their end, is how I've come to see it. But they did, what did they do? They did something else like today. I'm sorry about the cat noises, everybody. But yeah, basically the PBOC is gonna pump Chinese stocks. In my opinion, they're pumping liquidity into their system because everyone was talking about this Chinese reopening, the China revival, and it hasn't happened. Like, since they reopened in February, I think their like economic output is down 10%. I don't know exactly which metric people are referencing, but the whole China reopening, here comes liquidity narrative so far has not been a reality. So I think that's potentially coming though, and I think they're announcing something tomorrow. So I'm looking at both BABA and KWEB, our Chads and Giga Chads know what I'm talking about there. But I mean, it looks great. I love this on the chart. I love this little inverse head and shoulders we got. So yeah, we don't need to get too deep into the charts. my little opening statements. We can let Will go, but I like it. I like the way it looks. But yeah, I'll kick it back to you, Tommy.
Thanks, Tucker. I mean, I'm pretty happy about the Baba play already. I would like to see,
Yeah.
as I said, I'd like to see 94, 95, possibly even 96. Next, I think we'll probably get it. I didn't even realize that we technically don't have a trading session on Monday. So on Tuesday, I think Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll probably be closing out that position. And looking to roll, let me just say, roll those profits into a longer term bag of Baba, because the setups do look good across the board. I want to turn it over to Will, get a feel for some of the setups that he's looking at today, as well as how you're viewing the market. Will, how you doing, man?
I'm good. Yeah, so that's the loudest cat ever. No, I'm just joking. Never heard it. I just want to put out a couple different things. Let me share real quick. Hold on just a second. There we go. I don't know if Max is here or not, but one thing I was looking at basically is HYG. I think it's a really important one to kind of pay attention to. Man, HYG is ripped this morning. It literally ripped this morning. Very interesting play here for HYG. I think it continues up. I've got a breakout all the way up to like 77. I think it's a biddable move here. I 100% think it's a biddable move. It's broke its high, broken out of its range. This is a call all day. 77.48 is my first target. Second target, 79.38. Just now came up with that, just FYI. So this isn't something that I was like, oh, I'm already in it or anything like that. So I'm looking to get into that move. But I think 77.48 first target, 79.38 second target. Market, man, the market's bidding hard, like really hard on the stock market. TLT also up pretty big, right? Pretty big. Moving up in the ranges of 103.47. And really, it's just got to get across that middle line, man. Yeah, this is actually pretty crazy. I did have a $1 chart somewhere, so I got to try and find that. So I'll probably talk about that later. But last time I saw, the one was getting just obliterated by the dollar, right? So for Chinese stocks to pump, it makes sense in a way, because the yuan has it's been getting just beat down by the dollar continuously. I would think if anything, Chinese stocks pumping, or even if one's rolling up, because again, I don't have the chart open for that, but if either one of those were to occur, it would just be relief against the abuse that it's already endured. So interesting play there for Chinese. I would not be betting on Chinese stocks at all. It's gonna be real. I think there's a lot better markets. Like I think the pound market, right? I think Europe is a good bid. I think the pound is a good bid. I think there are things that are significantly more beat down with a lot less currency manipulation involved. That I think would be better picks in China personally. And that's nothing against China specifically. A lot of big investors, they know about the currency manipulation that China does. So the investment there, it's going to be limited to a certain point as far as investors wanting to dip their toes into China. Now, grabbing money from the aspect of retail, sure, that's a little more realistic. I can see that. Investing in China and China's growth, that's a little bit questionable. And I would say if you want exposure to China, I would look at things like Starbucks, so on and so forth, American companies that are working in China. Starbucks opened like stupid amounts of stores. They had 400 plus in China during the 2022 bear market. So while everybody was down only on the bear market, Starbucks was out there building and continuing to open up shop in different places. Moving into what I would probably consider the BlackRock discussion, an interesting discussion, I think, with BlackRock. I think BlackRock itself as a whole is looking to capitalize on this. I think if crypto were going to go to zero, like a lot of people keep on talking about, or like liquidity was going to get drained, why would a company like BlackRock go in and be opening an ETF? Why? Why would they put in the effort right now? Right? It's interesting. Interesting concept for them. I would imagine if they see significantly more downside, they would wait for that to occur before they would try and put out some information like that out in the air for everybody. So again, going into that conversation, I don't see scenarios that are super bad for crypto as a whole when it comes to that. I think let's see here. Let's see what DXY doing. I mean, DXY is getting a little pummeled right now. It's in a consolidation range. A lot of people got to understand that too. So nothing too crazy there. I mean, if you guys want up only, go and there's a stock called Elf Beauty. Just go and buy that, and you can have up only forever. It just never stops going up. I like to use that.
Literally up only.
I would say this: like there is a lot of things bidding up. The interesting thing is Google. I'm finding it the most interesting. I would have thought by now Google would be pushing to higher, but it seems to just be at a standstill. It doesn't want to move any further. So I'm wondering where that liquidity is going, how the SPY is pushing, and so on and so forth. Because I'm looking across
that pattern, Will.
Which one? Oh, Google.
That Google pattern. It looks exactly like Bitcoin for the second top.
I'm gonna go over to I'm gonna go to Tucker's chart here.
Have you been showing charts at all?
Nah, it's just been faces.
Oh.
Did you see that? Did you see that I had to pop off for like 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, sorry.
If you could share mine real quick, I just want to, because I have so many people pinging me about Bitcoin. It's ridiculous.
All right, we're going over to Dr. Outlook.
I just want to cover Bitcoin real quick.
All right.
These are kind of like my simple levels. I pointed these out to everybody yesterday. Interesting move for Bitcoin. Definitely not a position you want to be in. You got 9 hours on the close. You could definitely fail here. I would imagine if you're going to fail, though, you're going to do something like this before you do this. And that's what I would be looking for there. Because I think a lot of people would be looking for support. They'd be trying to short here. And then it'll come back against them. They'll drop their short. And then price will break for the downside from there. If it's going to go bearish, this is the move I'd look for. Really the range of liquidity where you could see things go to is basically from here to here. That's what I would see as far as if they were going to dip their toes into liquidity, it would be somewhere in that range for the low end. So it'll turn around here or it'll turn around here. And, if they start violating this low right here, then I would look for them to come for a double bottom. But really the reality is they'll probably come even lower. It'll be like there will more than likely be a capitulation if we end up back at the lows again. I think people will lose faith and people will sell this floor and push price even deeper potentially. And then there's a good possibility of that if we start violating. These are all like 3 different scenarios. So like I don't want people to think that it's going to be 1, 2, 3 trickle down all together. Like the reversal could occur here, or we can end up dropping down, right? So there's a couple different places price could reverse. If we can get back above and get back into this channel, I would think we'll more than likely face rip, right? It will be a single move just like this. If we get back into the channel, because then it'll show support, strength, pull flag, break.
And by the way, Will, I do agree with that. Like if we're back at 26, I think we're not going to stop at 26.
Yeah, it's just going to blow through.
Yeah. Like we should break down here. We should stay under 25 and a half, truthfully.
Yeah. You start getting back up there again, it's not going to be a good look for bears.
Yeah, so bears need to send this down to like 23 and a half and then dead cat bounce it to 24 and a half and then keep it going from there. If they can't do that, we're going back up.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of support in here. I would say that's really the best thing I could tell people. Like I know a lot of people are like, is it going to stay up above 25? Is it going to stay up and go up like you said? There's just too many factors here that can cause price to go either direction. There's just validations and invalidations, right? Haven't been fully invalidated yet until the candle close, but it could definitely invalidate my price. My stop is still where it was, where I talked about it previously on Twitter, which is 24.5. Those of you who know, no. And if I get stopped, I get stopped. I'll try and take a re-entry if I get stopped, and then if I get stopped the second time, I'm not re-entering. I'm gonna look for shorts.
This
So-
open interest on Bitcoin is spooking me for sure. I don't know if you guys already talked about that, but I almost want to I want to try to share my screen actually to show you
Yeah,
guys.
go for it.
I need to
Oh.
I need to get my browser set up though.
Before you do that,
Yeah.
so I know a lot of people are talking about the Fed said the bottom is in for housing. I think the Fed is measuring off the 30-year, just so everybody knows. If we look here, I think what he's looking at is this right here. Was your bottom?
He's saying that Powell's doing TA on the 30-year. He's looking at that.
Well, he's more of a data guy, right? A lot of people are.
Wouldn't that be so funny if Powell was literally drawing like horizontal lines on the 30-year and he was making interest rate decisions based off of that? That'd be so funny.
Well, if you look here, we fell below, hit, fell below, broke above, fell below, and now you got an uptrend, right? So the 30-year, even if you weren't looking at it from a chart perspective, and you were looking at it month over month increase, right? You would say that the 30 years in a recovery phase, right? And because the 30 years in a recovery phase, you would say the bottom for the housing market pretty much in if the 30 years recovery. So I think that's what, kind of his measurement thought process is, right? But I don't even know how you can call this a recovery because this is 2022, right? Look at this. It's only gone up.
Wait till
the housing market never really took a hit.
Yeah, it's because there hasn't been an influx of supply onto the market. I've been watching it really closely where the two things that needed to happen, or it still could happen, right? But the two things that need to happen is one, the labor market needs to start showing some serious signs of weakness. We need to see unemployment over 4%. And second, we need to see an influx of sellers. And the unemployment rate and an influx of supply in the single family market are correlated to a degree. So right now, people still have jobs. They're not interested in selling their homes. So we're not going to see a forced selling of, homes or, short sales or anything like that, because yes, people may have overpaid for their houses over the past half decade, but they locked in a 30-year fixed rate, not an adjustable rate. So they're not affected by this. They can just hold through it. They basically bought spot shares of a company that have gone down 20%. They're not going to get margin called. They might be, under collateralized on their loan, but as long as the bank doesn't mark to market the house and margin call them and say, hey, your house actually is worth $200K less than, a year ago. We need you to, put more equity in or something like that. That's not going to happen. So basically people need to get laid off, or, for whatever reason, whatever catalyst, whether it's people getting laid off or something else, they need to put their homes on the market, for single family prices to drop. Without, again, unemployment moving up and an influx of supply, it doesn't matter what 30-year fixed rates are. You're going to see more of a stalemate than anything. You're going to see people just not transacting as much, but that won't necessarily reflect in immediately lower prices.
What do you think about this?
I've never done TA on single family mortgage rates, but I mean, I would call it maybe historic mean reversion, if anything.
Yeah.
I would say it's probably more just a sign of how much froth and excess there was for the past couple decades. And, that could for sure imply spending too much time below that historic average would for sure imply to me single family homes were probably trading at much higher prices than they should have been because money was so cheap. But again, it's if you kind of look at it as mean reversion, if you go back to the left, what's that, back in the 70s, we spent a good deal of time above that that mean line. Now we just kind of like created a symmetrical deviation below it. So we had hard times up there. We had soft, easy times, in the past couple decades. So maybe we'll just spend a lot more time in this kind of higher for longer, which is really just more like historic mean reversion.
Yep. Higher pricing, higher mortgage, more people trying to get in a mortgage, froth continues, and then a pop.
Yeah. Tommy, any chance you could show, can you pull up your browser just so we can all see it? Because if I do it, then you guys can't see it. Coinalyze, and we can look at the open interest.
Yes, I actually already have it pulled up. So
Let me move over to you, because that's really important to what's going on right now. I need you to share your screen. Okay, here we go.
boom.
Cool. All right, we got it.
Yeah. So if you, I mean, it started for me when I was looking at Bybit yesterday. Bybit has kind of I mean, I think people expected more people to have left Bybit than they actually did. It's still the second biggest Bitcoin derivatives market. And in this case, we basically added about 30-40 million in OI, which, as you can see, was even greater levels of OI on Bybit than we had for the dump. So people are taking this opportunity to get active, and might not be necessarily the best sign, but are they longs or are they shorts? That's the question, right? That's what everybody wants to know. Let's take a look.
Let's go over both scenarios and what could happen if it's longs or shorts.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, so we've got our open interest here. The fact that, we had a lot of OI come in on these stabs, like you can look at these candles more granularly and you can tell like this OI spike right here was longs adding. They got wrecked. Longs tried to add again. To a lesser extent, they got wrecked by this candle, which makes me think that the OI that came in here was mostly shorts. But I don't know that for sure. I really don't. I mean, this OI has basically been, headed up only. So our only real like inclination for what open interest is mostly composed of, it, at least in this consolidation, is to, when we get these moves higher, what's happening with OI. So like OI is going higher. I mean, it might be longs, or at least it might have been shorts first, but now it might be longs that tried to chase the move and now might get wrecked a little bit here. I would be watching for a move into, let's see.
And
If we could get a move towards like 24.9, 25 flat, and then a pump out of that, could maybe tag 25 too. I think like tagging some short stops before lower would probably make the most sense.
It's been Will's outlook adding to his longs.
And by the way, Tommy, the cumulative OI for all the exchanges, not just Bybit, is, in my opinion, even spookier. Like it looks way more mechanical.
Yeah, it's been straight up since the low.
Like straight up in a straight line.
Not good.
No, like there's gonna be a big move one way, or like a big squeeze. It might just be like the squeeze. Someone gets liquidated, and then we go right back to where we were before. But let's see. We'll wait for it to pull up here.
Coinalyze does not like the Zoom share screen. Come on, Rocky, you can do it.
Who's ready for the next drop in the market? All the way back to lower lows and SPY.
Say that again, Will.
Said who's ready for the next drop in the market all the way back to lower lows on the SPY?
Oh my, Will woke up and chose violence today.
In due time, Will.
I know. In due time, people will learn. They will learn.
So one of the things I do to kind of glean a little bit of alpha from these markets, you can get a good idea for who's shorting and who's longing. So, for example, Binance, obviously the biggest derivatives market for Bitcoin, Bybit number 2. OKX is third, though. They're the most negative funding, which tells me OKX is probably shorting more than Bybit and Binance. I use Binance as kind of like my baseline exchange for funding. If there is a Bybit or OKX deviation away from Binance funding, I'm trying to figure out why that is, or if it's actionable to trade. Yeah, but it's kind of I might have to take a look at OKX max if it's that negative.
Yeah, let me see. So OKX, from the data that I can see on CoinGlass, the last 4 hours, they've been overwhelmingly short in the past 4 hours.
Let's see.
I'll tell you this: if the market gets stomped out, man, I hope it's OKX. That's one of the tokens that does, because I will come in and scoop up a lot of that. That coin has been manipulated. OKB has been manipulated up so hard.
Oh man. So the shorts probably came in about here. 25. Oh man, if we can flip that, that's really not a tough level to flip. Let's see where Bitcoin is at on trading view. If it latency is too bad, we can just go to somebody else's screen to take a look at it. But this is a new computer, man. I don't know what's wrong with it.
What kind of computer is it?
It's a Mac. It's like a new Mac.
Yeah, it's an Apple. You
But
didn't
is
know?
it
It's like a
desktop?
model from a year and a half ago, but it's new.
It's probably your Wi-Fi. Do you have it hooked up to a charger while you're doing this or no?
No.
That would probably help, in my opinion. I don't know if that's voodoo or not, but I feel like when I'm on my laptop and it's like bleeding battery, it just gets way worse. But anyways,
It's the power saver they set up in it that they have in the software.
You need
Dell
a
has the same
desktop,
issue.
Tommy. You need a desktop.
Something like
What you need is a Windows computer.
no,
That's what you need.
oh, gross, man.
No.
Mr. Gates, oof,
Ooh. Ooh.
oof. I don't even
What,
want to.
you guys don't have Android phones? What's going on here?
Nah.
I don't have an Android phone. I'm just messing.
I was gonna say, wait, Will, I literally text you like every day. You definitely don't have an Android.
you don't get green text?
Yeah, Tommy, I like that scenario. So wipe out OKX and then send
might-
it straight back down.
it might just be doing that right now. I think, yeah, if you're trying to short it, like I don't think you should short it here. Maybe it breaks down, but I like shorting with that OI. It could be longs, it could be shorts. You're kind of gambling. I don't know. We'll see what it does. You wouldn't want to see it lose this level though, or else it's probably going to take out the low. Let's see if there's anything interesting on altcoins.
How's that dominance look?
Yeah, so let's take a look at dominance. We turn these guys off. A little noisy.
It's a nice consolidation range. I like it.
Dude, that thing is coiled.
It's going higher.
Yeah, it's
It looks like it wants to explode.
it's
And
coiled, man.
Bro, I'm telling you, that's a long. There's no way that everything's dumping together. That's Bitcoin running and all your altcoins getting wrecked.
Ooh, that's a dangerous
could
proposition.
be
There,
either
Will.
one, man.
There's no way, bro. I'm telling you. Unless Bitcoin's going to just straight nuke and alts are going to nuke even harder, and you're just going to see $500 billion leave the space. I don't see that happening.
You don't see that
I
happening.
mean, it depends on how much of the space's value is literally complete vapor.
I'm saying $500 billion leaving the space. I don't see that happening. You're going to need that to push that up that high.
500 billion?
How are you calculating that? Yeah. How are you
Look,
calculating?
I'm calculating it based on the money that's been swishing in and out. There's been 200 billion at a time swishing in and out, and this is all we've gotten out of dominance.
As there?
Yeah,
I mean,
you-
total
all you got, look,
300 billion.
if you no, I'm talking about total market cap.
Well, yeah.
There's been roughly 200 billion swishing back and forth.
Mhm.
Thought my drawing was the wick for a
So
second.
when I say 500, I mean like that from the entire liquidity, right? You're going to need to see the total, just total drop by a ton. It's got to go lower lows.
For Bitcoin to get to what 60% dominance, I don't think so. On a dump, I don't think so.
You're going to see all
Would
look.
be- it'd probably be like a pump and then dump.
Yeah, it would.
It's probably both.
Man.
It'd probably be something like if I were gonna Chad Bitcoin dominance, I'd do something like this. I'd dip it down there. I'd rip it for like no reason up to here. And then like a G candle, I would just have it slowly bleed all the way back down. Keep longing it. Your altcoins will get destroyed at this part in particular. If I were going to chat Bitcoin dominance, that's probably how I would do it.
Let me get the screen real quick. I'm gonna show you what this looks like.
Oh boy.
I will say though, Will, with Bitcoin dominance, like this year, when Bitcoin dominance is pumped, it's been because of Bitcoin USD upside. But in
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Every time this year, but that's not normal.
I was gonna say for about 2 years, it was the opposite.
Yeah.
Anytime Bitcoin dominance chatted, it was indicative of a total downside.
Let me bring in Exhibit A.
You gotta share your screen, Will.
Hold on just a second.
Jeez, this is brutal. No markets.
Let me share Exhibit A.
Nvidia at 430. Oh.
All right, Will, go ahead. You're up, man.
This was 2021, right? Or not 2021, 2019. So you got the bottom, you got the double bottom, right? Came in later. This time, I think it's more playing like this. Now, I could be wrong, right? It could swoop and come right back down again. But the point being is the expectation here is that the top holds and that altcoins really shit the bed down to 250. I don't see 50 billion coming out of altcoins causing Bitcoin's dominance to go to 60%. Why? Because this drop didn't even make it move but more than 3%. So Bitcoin needs to show strength against alts through what? Upside Bitcoin, downside alts.
Or how about Bitcoin just slowly bleeds down to 22 over the next 3 months and altcoins go to frickin' zero.
You're right in that ass, and that's what I mean. That's what I mean. If altcoins go down to like 100 billion, sure. All right, yeah, I can get on board with that. If they drop to 100 billion, I could definitely get on board with Bitcoin dominance going up to like 60-70% for sure. But like if that doesn't happen and they stay above 250 like I think they will, then there's no possibility that you're going to see that type of move without Bitcoin moving to the upside against altcoins. Now, it doesn't mean later on that you won't see them kind of drag back down together. But like I'm just saying, like if you want to see that big move up, that's what you're going to need. And then if you looked at BTCD, also in the aspect of I don't know if I have it open. I think I do.
Well, I want to know, and then I wanted you to talk about this, but I want to know where you concede. I don't need an official concession, but I'm like, when in your mind do you say, all right, you know what? I don't think Bitcoin's going to 35K this year. It's going to be after like the next halving. When do you throw in the towel?
If Bitcoin goes about to 20K before 35K, then I could see.
How about 21K or 22K?
Oh yeah, I can see. Basically, if it breaks below 24, I already told you guys. Like that's my line in the sand. Like it's done at that point. It's cooked.
24.
It's gonna go to 22. Then it's gonna really, if it stays where it's at for a week, it can float right here, but right below 25 for a week. If it closes a weekly, if it closes a weekly candle below 25, I think it's a break to the downside. It could be a poke through, it could be anything. And I mean body candle. That's I look at everything from body candles. A lot of people look at them from wicks in addition to body candles. So like if we were to close just like how we are right now, and then we were to open and we were to pump a little bit, I would anticipate that pump is just to create the wick, and then we're gonna drop.
And Will, I like that in Val because so like that line that you have at 25.2 or 25. If we get a strong close below that and then price comes back to retest it, that's acceptance back into our previous range. And I think everything above it was a deviation. And then you can look for shorts down to like the high teens again.
Yeah. And this is still a good short. It's still a really good short. You just wait for the retest, catch the retest, and short it. That's all you got to do. It's going to take a while to play, but it is going to bounce. This is where I would see price bounce. And if it does drop, it's going to drop to here. Then it's going to pull back up. Everybody's going to say up, 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 and it's going to poke its head through this resistance, and then it's going to pull right back below, and it's going to start bleeding from there.
Hey,
that would be my
Tucker,
anticipation.
Can I have you pull up your chart real quick, just because yours looks the best on on Zoom for whatever reason.
I pulled it up and I set an alert at 24K.
That's cozy.
So I can come to Will and say,
can you pull up Matic on DYDX?
yeah.
I mean, I already told you guys my stop.
Yeah. You'll have to. You could probably sort by exchange at the top.
Wait, you can?
Yeah. So go to crypto, like see the buttons below. Yeah, crypto, sources, and then DYDX, and then just maybe type it. Yeah.
Is everything flashing?
Yeah, why is everything flashing? There you go. All right, so add that on there for me. Maybe put it on normal put it on normal candles, not Heikinashi. Or is that normal?
Yeah.
Okay. See that wick down there?
Normal.
I think that wick gets filled.
That's 6 cents.
Yeah.
Why?
Just a feeling. No, all right. So do me a favor. I'm gonna walk you through some TA. So can you draw a horizontal? So go to July 26th, the wick on July 26th, and draw a horizontal ray.
July 26th.
Of last year, sorry. Of last year, yeah, 2022.
July. You talking about this?
So July 26th would be, yeah, right up in there.
Oh,
So draw a horizontal ray on July. Yeah, that wick right there. Perfect. You can maybe thin it up a bit, and then draw another one on the September 21st bottom.
This one.
Yeah, right there. All right, so clear break of structure. We're below right now, and I think we're gonna go on Matic like on the high time frames. You can't see it on DYDX. There's not enough data, but Matic was one of the best performers, probably only behind BNB for like the entire bear market. Like it showed extreme resiliency along with BNB. I think it's got a lot of catching up to do in regards to like its ratio of total crypto market cap. And there was like a flash wick down. So maybe can you zoom
that wick will get filled?
Yeah, I think it will too. I think it'll
6 cents.
Yeah, no, I mean I'm serious. Maybe could you go to Polygon now on like Binance?
That's what I had targeted the whole time. Was like 15 cents roughly.
Yeah, man, I think it's gonna fill that wick. I think that was real. Could you just go to like Binance now and we can look at like the total history of it on a log scale?
Versus log.
Yeah,
a lot of people they get attached to these
log.
and they forget their altcoins.
I mean, look at that, man. Like that wick's gonna get filled. Like
where's 6 cents is right. It was like 6.
Yeah, that's gonna happen, man. Like that's gonna be our bottom. Maybe now throw it not in log scale, just throw it in like normal.
It's not gonna do well if Polygon goes to 6 cents.
Everything.
Don't say
it. All the games on
oh yeah. That doesn't look that crazy, by the way. If you guys are looking at that, like I could see that just like curling down there and like having this disgusting rounded bottom.
But do you know that happens, right? It looks just like Bitcoin. Draw that diagonal support across the lows.
Matic to me looks like it's gonna stop before.
Hold on. I gotta stop sharing real quick. Give me just a second.
I don't know what you mean when you just say draw. Right,
let me grab the screen.
Yeah, Will, that was not very descriptive, man. There's so many lows.
Yeah.
It's a trend line, bro. The trend line across the supports of everywhere we've been. Nah.
Will, that wasn't better, bro. I'm gonna move over to your screen, Will. You can
just let Will
go to my screen. I'll do it.
Will goes draw a horizontal, draw a trend line across everywhere we've been.
Look, I say support. Like, I think it's support's a pretty universal word there. Hold on a minute.
Can I stop screen sharing so I can see what he's talking about?
Yeah, you can stop.
So I can see what he's talking. Yeah. It falls in line with what you guys are talking about, and that's why I wanted to bring it up. Hold on.
Well, you have the longest watch list I've ever seen, man. That's incredible.
I've watched so much stuff, man. Like,
told him he needs to clean it up a little.
I know. So what I was talking about is this. So if you line that with the drop, like my target was always like around 12 cents roughly. So that's what I was kind of saying is like you got one tap, and this looks very much like ARK too. Like ARK did the same thing. 1, 2. Comes back down.
Yeah. That's happening, man. I'm telling you, I'm very bearish on it. And full disclosure, I do have an interest in it to the short side, so take that for what it is. But I think, I mean, if you looked at like how Tucker drew it too, like those two horizontal rays I had him draw, we had a clear break of structure, clear break of value. Price looks bloated, and we just lost value, and I don't think it's going to be reclaimed. So,
Well, price looks bloated, but look at there's nobody trading this. Nobody's trading it. It has no volume. It has no real interest in volume. Even this big dump, this is basically what we consider capitulation, right? Do you see any spikes? None.
No.
There's no spikes
We'll get some
because
we'll get some.
This is natural selling.
When Disney
bloated.
pukes their Matic, yeah, we're gonna get that sell.
Ooh. If Disney says, you know what, we're out,
yeah, they will. They will, because the Matic Foundation does not support their agenda.
Bro, if Disney says they're out, this thing's done. It is gonna
I
get.
think you guys
rocked.
are just coping because you didn't buy 34-cent Matic in June of last year.
Here's why Matic's going down, and here's why Disney's going to be out. Because the bottom only forms when everybody, including the big wigs, including all the public companies, capitulate and literally say, why did we ever try to integrate blockchain into anything?
I'm going to guess that Matic bottoms around 25 cents.
That's way too bullish, Tommy.
I mean, there's really nothing there. Where you get, I don't see.
Oh, 25. I see what you're saying.
Consolidation from April and March of 2021.
I mean, look at this on the monthly.
And that's also been proven as a solid demand zone.
Which exchange are you charting it on, Tommy?
On Binance. But I'll tell you what, I view what we're in right now on Matic as the consolidation that we had in late April, early May, right before like total capitulation of USD.
So this is basically here. I'm going to show you what this is. I'm going to show you exactly.
Wait, why are you on Binance US?
I'm on Binance. Just Binance.
Will's on
Binance.
Because it has the big capitulation event. I don't know why it won't pick up those wicks, but here, let's just remove that. So see this drop right here? This is basically what I'm expecting here.
Yeah, we're gonna roll
all
over
the way
again.
down.
Yeah.
Like, and how do you know that's gonna happen? You know that's gonna happen because of something very simple.
I'll show you guys what I think. We're at
you are in a full-on downtrend. Dramatic. Like if I were to take this on like a channel perspective. Now, keep in mind there is a middle point on this, so you got to watch out for that. Let's see if that lines up with your thesis there. Just relax.
I'm gonna move over to Tommy's chart real quick and see why he thinks we're gonna bottom at 25 cents.
All right. Look, we are bouncing right at the middle right now.
All right, you're up, Tommy.
Yeah, I think we're basically like right here on Matic.
Yeah, I mean, we could be.
Like we broke, the range is breaking down. I mean, if we remove it's kind of noisy, but if we remove all the noise, like had an uptrend, clearly lost momentum, range break, structure break, same thing happened right now. There's no reason that this momentum doesn't carry us significantly further. It might not even give you a chance to reshort. I think you can still get like close to 70 cents, but
here's my only hang up with your target. Like, yes, we're both thinking it's going to go down. I think I view that like 40 cents area kind of like I view 29K Bitcoin. And Matic never lost its bull market structure.
Yep.
And for that reason, I feel like it has to go on to make significantly lower lows beyond the FTX lows.
But Max,
yeah,
you shouldn't say feel. You should say no.
All right, I know. I do think. I mean, you have it going to make a new low. I just think that. I just know that it's going to go on to make significantly new lows below the FTX low. I just don't think it's going to be a sweep. I don't think it's going to be a little sweep and then we're all good. Like, I think it's going to be like...
Oh, it'll roll there. Tommy, put it on a line chart real quick.
hate line charts.
They're not bad, bro.
I-
They literally take the noise out of the chart.
I
That's
actually
what they
like
do.
it a lot for like finding diagonal support.
Now go on the weekly on the line chart and look at your very last support on the weekly. Scroll out. Do you see that little squiggle right below your red zone?
Right here.
That's your last support right there.
We're not going down to 2 or 3 cents on Matt.
No, not there. Right below your red zone.
You think we're gonna wick down there and then bounce out?
Yep.
It's basically what I have. I'm okay with that.
You see it though, right? That one little ripple right below your demand zone. That support ripple.
Yes. I mean,
That's so ugly.
down here. If we bottom here, it'd be criminal.
Yep. That's where I think that they're gonna do it. I think they're gonna flip it right there.
I hope I get a retest higher, man. Be a shame. I think XO had a plan where it went to like 5.5, 5.6, and then bounced to 7.1. I'm hoping we get something like that, but
Dude,
truthfully,
it looks like it's just about to frickin' fall off a cliff right now.
It is. It's the momentum's to the downside.
The only thing that's looking good today is CRV coming back from the dead a little bit. But I think that was literally just like a short close rally on CRV. I think CRV's going down to probably, I'd say 30 cents at least.
what you gonna do, Bitcoin?
Bitcoin's gonna rip, bro.
But Matic is gonna die.
Matic is gonna. I'm actively shorting Matic right now.
Oh, you dog.
I just saw a $20 million market short hit the tape. I know it was Tucker.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
guys why I think this is a really like good setup for a short. And why, even though, I mean, the thing obviously that scares people away from a sole short is that prices are already considerably lower than all-time highs. But I view it as, come on. Anchor, it's the whole range. We're breaking down.
Oh, God.
You look at it more granularly, you know, so I mean, we're gonna assume that we're probably not gonna come back up here, right? Need my
I had $5 as my target since 2021.
Yeah, if you look at the total history of Solana, there's actually a technical case to be made for $5. And everybody wanted that on the first drop, the one that, you know, got sucked up after FTX.
I remember everybody laughing, saying that's never going to blow 20 again. Where are we at now? Bleeding right back down. I can see that.
like that.
Yeah, I could see that.
But the reason I like this short though on a higher time frame is because you have the breakdown from like the range we formed since the FTX dump. You have on a more granular level, you've got fixed range volume profile signaling a potential breakdown down here as well. So if we are going to get downside continuation, I mean, I mean, the risk reward on this trade is insanely high.
Hey, put that on the line chart and throw it on the weekly. Let's see what that looks like.
Will, I don't like the line chart.
The line chart takes your noise out. Max knows, at least Max knows.
I like the line chart, but I only use it for like diagonal support and resistance.
I use it for higher time frames to find the actual supports. And then I go and look at it from the candle spotty standpoint after that.
Probably tag this weekly FVG if it's going to do the thing.
Oh, look at that. You got it right there. That's my target.
Which one? The yellow box?
Yep.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
don't even remember why.
That's my target.
I don't even remember why I drew that. Somewhere on
over
this
for
chart, I
Matic.
should have a
Over.
fractal. Let's see if I still have it drawn. Like way back when. Damn.
I will scoop some up there. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I'm touching Matic again. Watch, they will push it back up in the next bull run.
dude, Solana at $5 is a buy. Like I
Solana,
know
dude.
you don't even have to believe in it. Like that's still potentially like a quick 2 or 3x on the bounce.
Solana could easily be vaporware. If you get it at $5, it doesn't matter. People will bid that vaporware.
I'll bid Solana here.
Tommy,
Come on, dog.
I know you're gonna buy.
There are some alts that will trade down to this equivalent. Near will trade down to that equivalent.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm short near as well.
He's hoping for the Binance wick. That's
That
what he's
was my
hoping
whole
for.
market channel. Got wrecked. But no, we're gonna trade down into here, I think, on near.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I hope
Definitely
this
going
token
to.
makes new lows, man. This should be valued at F0. Anybody buying this like for fundamentals needs to have their head.
I'm bidding it for Degens
Yeah.
in the next bull run.
Buy near, I swear, man. You can buy Solana, but I will. Friends don't let friends buy near.
Ooh, I just got an email from crypto.com. Dear valued customer, please be
Oh,
informed
it's
that the
over,
changes have been
man.
made for uscrypto.com app terms and conditions.
Aren't they
The
like
revised sections are. I think they're going to close down shop here. I haven't looked at their terms and conditions yet, though.
They might be done.
That's weird that they just emailed me just now. Let's go see what they put.
Dang. I want it. I have a feeling that we're gonna get something really stupid like
So
that.
Tommy, I think that the thought is correct there, but I think we go down and sweep that value area high and then put in that bounce, but back up to like 26, not 28.
We could.
Like I want to see that value area high like penetrated. Everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, we're gonna go to like 15 right now." Then they pile in short.
That's what I think is happening right now. I think the shorts are piling heavy, and the reversal comes. We go to like 400K Bitcoin, and we go back down to 10.
Well, you've been hanging out with Koosh too much on Twitter, man.
Because we're basically doing this, Max. Like
Yes.
repeating the downtrend of 2019. We're gonna get this stupid candle at some point, and it's just gonna bleed relentlessly.
Okay, so if you had to guess where we were right now, draw a circle.
I think we're probably here.
So maybe one more like small drop, little OI flush, and
Might
then
be
send
here.
it back.
Shit. It wouldn't even surprise me if we're like right here.
That would be vicious. I wouldn't like that. I'm not gonna lie, because my alts would bounce like crazy.
I don't think though. This is like the Bitcoin dominance send playbook, because when Bitcoin just has those like multi-sigma moves randomly on squeezes, it's typically just Bitcoin dominance. And you have, and I'll use an example that I remember pretty distinctly. It was in here was this move right here. Like Bitcoin randomly just chatted from 18.5 to almost 23K within a few days with no stop. And Bitcoin dominance went like straight up during that time period, I want to say. So
you're thinking we need one scam move or Bitcoin dominance moves up a couple percent, alts don't really follow, and that kind of gets the move started.
And you will get like a real alt capitulation, but more so because if you get a move like that on a squeeze, it's like I'm part of the reason why downside is so muted is because so many people are short. Like we have, look at all these highs that have been defended. High.
Yeah.
That was my point, Tommy. You were like, "Oh no, everybody's long." I was like, "No,
I mean,
like, everybody's short here."
Locally, everybody keeps trying to catch these knives, and they just are getting like systematically sold off on, and we get pukes. But I mean, eventually, we're gonna come back and clean this up. Like, there's
I don't
just
know
no
if we will. I don't know if we have to. I think I think this is less of like traders just like pushing this down. I'm viewing it as like there's a very small door with a lot of people trying to get out, and they just keep lowering their asks. Initially, they wanted 29. Then they're like, "Oh shit, we're not going back there. All right, I'll take 28. All right, we're not going back there. I'll take 27." So it's like I don't think we're gonna see like this derivative squeeze. Like I understand there is short interest, but I don't think it's as overwhelming as we're painting that picture to be. Like,
well, I think to your like kind of go against the grain a little bit here. Like look at March 6, 23. on the weekly.
And 0.
Nah, bro, that ain't sweet. 0. This guy.
I mean, this is like the 2019 playbook, essentially.
Snorlax. Look at March 6th. Put on the weekly.
Which there's a lot of March 6th, bro.
23. 2023.
That
But put it on the weekly. I want to show you from the weekly perspective.
March 6th, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, this low. What about it?
So if you put on the weekly, like everybody here thought this thing was over, but look at the weekly. Look what happened to price there. Ignore the wick and look at the body. What do you see there? In March, what do you see there?
Tell us, Will.
Hold on. I'll share screen.
All right, we're moving over to Dr. Outlook. We're taking a
Look.
field trip, everybody. Hang on. All right, Dr. Outlook, you got it.
What do you see here?
I see a capitulation into the 50 fib of a monthly FEG with a powerful bounce out off of banking and USDC FUD.
What do you see from here to here?
Weekly SR.
Yeah, you got a support range right here, right? If this pulls back up above here, right?
It looks
And
materially
reverses all
different.
the way
We already
back up
lost
here.
it. No, we already lost it. Unless you want to count the
We s-
wicks rather than the bodies. We already lost that.
We lost support up here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like it's a
But-
different type of range. The other range was like an accumulation range with one major deviation that was FUD derived. What we have here is a slow bleed with just constant sell pressure and people continually moving down their ask because they're not getting the price they want.
Yeah, no, they are. But that's what usually entices squeezes is people continually moving down their ask. Right? Because you're creating sellers.
Now, I'm honestly
That's what you're doing.
asking this for anybody that knows because I don't have the data in front of me. Has most of the selling since 31K been spot or derivatives? Someone know?
I don't.
I
Say that
haven't looked into it.
Has a majority of the selling from 31K on Bitcoin been spot or derivatives?
I mean, it's been spot, but there's there's still, when you're talking about passive positions or positions that have kind of been left on, a lot of those haven't been tagged yet or taken out of the market, so they're present. More of the selling driving price has been spot, but there is plenty of short delta present.
Who's the biggest culprit behind the short delta? Is it Bybit still? Or is it OKX?
I don't think it's Bybit just because all the squeezes have murdered Bybit.
Why am
They
I
have
not
murdered
surprised?
There's a lot of I remember specifically when we had that huge OI wipeout on April 26th. And I'm sure you guys remember it. It was when we went like straight up off the bottom and then retraced the entire move within like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
At the top of that pump, there was an OKX like Chad who went mega short at the top. I don't know if he's still in his position, but there could be liquidity like at those highs specifically.
I like your 2019 playbook, Tommy. I just think that we penetrate that value area high first, like 24, low 24s ish.
Yeah, we could totally get that.
And then we bounce up to 26 and that's your squeeze. Is that everybody shorting here is eventually going to get squeezed out after they think that they're in the clear on one more drop? That's my gut.
If I'm gonna look for a short here at all, I'm gonna look for price to round out, come back up, retest. I'll take the short there, right? If it validates below, closes below, I'll take the short in that position. So I'm not really too worried about my long right now. I still have an open short, at least not that much of it left. From up here, like 20, what was that, 24, I think. So like right in here. But I have barely any of that left. Like I'd have to add to it, or I don't know. I don't really want to add because it's gonna push me down in in price. So if I'm going to do it, I'll probably end up closing that out when we tag down here, and then I'll reopen up here if we end up getting squeezed to the downside. We got to push down into here, I think, though. If we're going to do it, they'll probably push the 23.8, roll up, hit that 25 again, just to retest liquidity before rolling down deeper. So that's what I would think that would occur here if they're going to go short.
The likelihood of a short, or not a short, the likelihood of a squeeze deteriorates as you have more and more of these idiots that just pile into longs and support. That's my only hold up on the squeeze. Is like, we could be just doing that thing where you chop into support that I've talked about. You just chop into bids, chop into perp bids more specifically, and then eventually there's no more support left.
And Tommy, you said this weeks ago. You said, I don't remember if it was live or we were on a phone call, but you said you think people that are bidding 25K blindly are going to get smoked. And I think that's probably
that since like April.
Yeah.
And we're here, and it's funny, I don't feel the same way as I did like 6 weeks ago. Maybe that's a mistake.
Will, we had a question for you in the in the chat. Will, one could argue that those last 4 weeklies do open below the first set of weeklies, making it a different range. No?
I mean, I think once you start violating previous structure, you start breaking to the. You could range here for sure, but I think your directionality changes, right? Your directionality changes from an up direction to a down direction, and that's. I think that's the hardest thing that a lot of people have to cope with, because your directionality is this way until you start breaking into previous consolidation ranges, and then your directionality changes once you start breaking these previous consolidation ranges to the other direction until it reverses, right? It can reverse here, yeah, sure. It could also reverse much lower. That's the hard part. You can't guess on it. So if you break back into here, you should anticipate for further breakdown. But if it reverses back up, that's just your invalidation, right? So you have to have an invalidation. My invalidation of more downside will be price getting back above the 25K area. And then I would say, okay, we range down here. Yes, they grabbed liquidity and they shifted out. So now their directionality is back up again. But if they break down into here and then they start breaking down into here, and then they start breaking out, like now you've ate a lot of downside because you're not following the direction of the market. You have to follow the direction until it proves different. So you need invalidation and validation levels. And yeah, you could, like you said, you could range here and break out, but like I would anticipate if they're going to change direction, it's going to continue that direction, at least for a while, right? They're looking for something. For the market to change direction, they're looking for liquidity elsewhere. And I wouldn't say it's in the previous level below. I would say it's much deeper than that if they change directions. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I would view it. So if they're going to change directions, I wouldn't say they're looking for liquidity here. I'd say they're looking for liquidity much lower.
Yeah, I would agree. Evan Casey said, I'm ready for these alts to finish their Wyckoff spring. Last accumulation, $1,000 ETH or lower is on the table. Don't miss out. I would agree, Evan. I would agree that it's certainly on the table. 3-digit ETH is definitely something that I would consider to be a realistic in the realm of infinite possibilities. So
I'm shoving my crypto portfolio into 3-digit ETH, man, if we get it.
yeah,
like
me too.
I'm shoving it.
Not only that, I'm gonna go look to exploit NFTs. There's gonna be a lot of people who have NFTs listed, like base C NFTs for like 20 ETH that they forgot is up for 20 ETH, and it's now worth 10K instead of 100K. Because the value of ETH has dropped so much. You can exploit NFTs through that.
I'm not going to say it here live on stream, but Tommy, are you still interested in buying that one blue chip NFT if ETH capitulates? Yeah.
It's like the only thing I think will have lasting staying power in the current market. And if it doesn't, like NFTs as a whole have probably like the focus has changed pretty significantly at that point.
Yeah.
At least that's my view.
It's good RR. I would agree. It's sort of my theory of like bid the last stand, It's like
they're not apes though. They're not apes. You have to clarify that.
Yeah,
Max.
no, they're not apes.
I thought Kobe had such a great like synopsis of what apes were to the last bull run. Like they created so much wealth, but they were also kind of like the symbol, because they pumped in the late stage of the bull run, they were like the symbol of excess, and now they're going to be the symbol of stupidity on the way down.
Look at this. I already had this charted out. I haven't looked at ETH in like almost a month. That's pretty crazy.
That ETH, like the ETH bottom, whatever formation we've been building basically since last, what was that, like when we hit $800? I don't remember what month that was in. This is not a bottoming structure. Like there's a lot of lows that are very susceptible to getting swept in this entire basing structure. Yep, there it is, Will. That's what I'm talking about. If we see ETH down at like $800, $700, and ETH BTC is at like 0.05, I am buying so much ETH.
Yeah, I would easily buy in those ranges. Yeah.
I don't even know if XO has it going that low, man.
I think XO.
Well, I have a couple different spots here. I have this lower end spot here, and then I have obviously a
No, I
circle.
like that. I like that.
I actually don't think the ETH is going to capitulate like to the, I mean, it goes without saying it's not going to capitulate to the same degree as a lot of these vaporous alts, but I don't think it's going to capitulate to like a minus 60 or 70% degree unless Bitcoin also does.
Okay, is it stronger than Bitcoin?
I
Because
said
Bitcoin already did that.
Bitcoin also does that.
No, but Bitcoin did.
I know. I'm saying this second run is different because I feel like the worst part of the capitulation for ETH has likely already happened as far as like forced sellers go. At this point, you're going to see a greater rotation of capital from DeFi and Layer 1 tokens, and not just Bitcoin, but also Ethereum. So it's got a little bit more supportive flows, I think, now that it's kind of its volatility has died a little bit more, but also like, I mean, look at the move that it had from April or May to the low. I mean, it was literally like a 75% capitulation on a massive market capitalization asset. And you look at
that.
Who got blown up in that. You know, it was 3AC. It basically made FTX insolvent as well.
Yeah, I would say this was the capitulation. This was the recovery of the capitulation, but this is a clear rejection of the high, right? So you got
it's a new low yet.
Yeah, you got minimum middle, right? That's your minimum. And then you've got maximum bottom. That's your maximum.
Come on over here. Come on over here.
It's
real easy.
Not gonna lie, I was looking for a lot of charts to recapture this, the original takeoff.
A lot of altcoins are going to.
Oh yeah, altcoins are definitely or lower.
If they have
look at algo.
Yeah. Look at
Completely
Link
to the bottom.
Below like DeFi summer prices. Link is gonna go to zero, man.
Link is going straight up.
Link doesn't need
Let's
a token.
do that.
What do you need a token of that for? It was just designed for a dumb one.
I tell people all the time, bro. Hagrid comes in like, we need vaporware.
Tucker, do you actually own Link, or has this been a joke the whole time?
No, I own a very small amount of Link, but it's 90% a joke.
He's a marine.
I have it for the culture. It's not like I'm like all in Link.
Oh, stop.
Guys,
you're all in Link. It's fine.
He has a decent bag. He has 5 whole Link. Like the whole thing.
There were a bunch of Chainlink guys who I used to be in circles with for the like May 2021 bull run. And they used to, I mean, now that I can like think back on my experience as a much more, because that was my first like crypto cycle, mini cycle or cycle period. You know, they were dumping complete garbage on our heads. I'm super happy that Link has basically gone to zero because I know most of their net worth is like firmly stored in.
Yeah, there was somebody in a group that I was in a while back, and they were like, the CEO came out at one point and said that their token literally has no utility at all.
No, I remember Modalist also going over how they shouldn't have a token.
What are you raising money for?
Look at my screen real quick.
Like the value that the token can provide is after 3-4 years, the best value they can provide is like staking.
All right, you're up, Tucker.
It is still, which is, I'm sorry, Tucker, but
It looks grim. It looks grim right here.
I'm telling.
Yeah.
Look, I got $5 as a target. I will scoop up a lot of soul at
Got
$5.
0.
Wait, we're talking about Link. We're at $5 right now.
Yeah, you want to go buy some?
Wow,
Dude, hang on.
I'm
Here's the thing.
not-
When you have was that is that about a year, 2 years, year and a half range
year.
low break, and it's not immediately reclaimed? This is not just a deviation. This is
You
like
even got like the rejection.
we just lost our range low. We're about to go form a new range, 50% lower type of break. Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
re-enter that previous range right there. That's the range.
It would be
What is it?
perfect if they deviated it again, made people think it was a deviation, and then knew for real.
That would be kind of awesome.
If they just and people like, oh
Yeah, Tucker, go to the left for me.
I think it's gonna hit
Can you
$3.
can you draw a range high on that spike in like August right there? Left.
Which one?
Left. Yeah. So like right there, and then range low would be like kind of the bottom of that drawdown right there. Yeah, right there. We're gonna re-enter that range right there. Do we go to the bottom of it? I have no idea, but mid range, yeah. Or where's the point of control for that range? I could see.
We got like a weekly gap with a midpoint at like 2.5, 2.75. I think that could be a sweet spot.
Oh, you might have to yeah, make it so it doesn't extend.
You guys, you want to see a buy?
I think the better question for DeFi is like, does it bottom in this range long term, or does it just, kind of trend to zero over time? Because a lot of DeFi charts just look abysmal on a higher time frame.
Next decade, they'll be at 0.
Probably, which is a shame, man. I love DeFi.
That's what we're looking at.
Yeah, I mean that's real. That's definitely a real thing.
Hey Tucker, pull up YF die on KuCoin.
What about Wi-Fi? I love Wi-Fi.
No, YF die DAI on KuCoin.
What the hell is that? I was talking about Yearn, baby.
It's gonna recover that wick, bro.
What the? What is that?
How bad is it that the dollar is completely
He
falling
said, "What is?"
is doing this?
What did you say, Tommy?
How bad is it that Bitcoin is doing this with the dollar literally falling off a cliff and equities ripping?
Yeah, it's not looking good, man. I don't think we're gonna get a Bitcoin squeeze, guys. I really don't.
It's just lag, bro. It's just lag.
This is not lag, man.
Squeeze idea too.
Look, if you look at YF die, it's predicting the future of Bitcoin.
Look at the dollar, bro.
Dude,
Stagnant.
Bitcoin's gonna take that dive. I told you, it's gonna. I texted you guys a picture of it. It's gonna. The OI is gonna flush. We're gonna get a major drop to like 23.8, 24. That's when you long some Bitcoin as a hedge to your alt shorts. And then we
That's
squeeze,
a W.
Then we squeeze up to like 25.5, 26, and then we go straight to 18.
That's a W, bro. Look at that.
What, this?
No, the small part on the right.
I think finding Bitcoin longs is probably my
Yeah.
focus now. Actually, I don't think we're gonna nuke this level. And if we do nuke this level, I know that alts are gonna like go back to the dark ages so I can chase them.
Yes. I will be longing Bitcoin like below 24K. That's where I start longing Bitcoin for a bounce up to like 25.8, 26. I could absolutely see that. But then really quickly after that, we're going to 19.7. So
You put a fractal on that? No, Matic could bounce out of that little FVG right there at like 5.6, I think 5.7. Maybe goes a little bit lower, but it makes sense for alts to bounce without forming a lower low, take out the highs again, and then form a lower low.
What, these highs?
Yeah.
Tommy, are you positioned right now for anything?
No,
I gotta run, guys.
Right now, I gotta run here in a minute as well.
Actually,
guys.
wait, Stan. Let's wrap it up. We're into time here. I don't want the frames to get all messed up again. Let's just wrap it up here. Tommy, you want to give us the outro?
Sure. I don't think we have too much for closing thoughts. We pretty much covered everything, guys. Equity's strong. Dollar looks like trash. Euro ripping. Bitcoin looks like trash somehow still, which sucks for all of us, being that a lot of us are crypto traders, or that, you know, we trade it very heavily often. But yeah, still a marvel at these equity plays. Be a shame if we were not participating in them at all. Thankfully, we are. Shout out Chinese stocks for me. Yeah, no, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll be back tomorrow. We have another episode of Market Check scheduled for today, I believe, as well, with the whole team. We had a great space yesterday. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. We appreciate you for checking out our YouTube if this is your first time. A reminder that we have links to all of our premium content and all of the other content that we provide as well, for free in the link of our Twitter bio, as well as the YouTube description of this video. So make sure to check all of that stuff out if you guys enjoyed the show and want to support us. But yeah, no, it was a great show, guys. I felt like we covered a lot of tickers. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and see you later.